So they used you like a hotspot, and you were turned off when they were done. That's the download I got this morning. They used you like a hotspot, and you were turned off when they were done. Because you noticed something. You noticed the difference between you and them. Like, you're pure. You have a purity to your spirit. And it's like many of you could have been just attracted to them for other reasons. Like, it's usually a physical thing, because that's the first thing we see is physicalities. But it's like the closer you got to them, the more you saw them for who they truly are. I heard they began to look like the enemy to you. You didn't want that to be true, though, but, you know, the more you paid attention to what you were seeing, the more you were recognizing the truth for what it was. And you know, that's understandable. Don't we go through these things? This is a part of our learning experience. We have to be able to experience things with different types of people to know when we're supposed to say something, anything. Just say something, either if it's to yourself or to that person. It is our responsibility when we are under certain circumstances that do not align to us. I also heard they do not apply to us. So it's like certain people will try to put you into their situation, but it really doesn't apply to you. And it's not something of substance. I'm just getting, it's like almost trying to get you to agree with them, even if what they're saying is not right. But they try to find a strategic way to get you to agree with what you know not to be true and or correct. It's like someone who you see scam somebody and then try to paint a picture for you to see why it was the right thing to do. But you know it's not the right thing, but they'll try to dress it up to make it seem like it's fine. For their benefit. It's always to their benefit. Then you started to notice little patterns. You could have noticed how they are with other people, and that was a put off. Like, it put off your energy. You felt it's just one of those red flags. Like when you see something and you're like, what was that? You see it, and you're like, oh no, it was nothing. No, it was nothing. That's just me overthinking. Then you start calling yourself an overthinker. And I feel like to think a lot is a gift. You know, many people don't think at all. So to think a lot, that's actually a gift. I think it's a gift, especially if you can control it. Because if you think a lot and you can't piece it together, then that's like the mind of a manic. That's the mind of someone who has mental health issues. Okay. They saw through you. They know this person. They always knew how big your heart is. So they used the vastness of your heart and your purity to benefit them. It was always about them from the beginning. It was never about you with this person. They may have said a few words to make you feel special in certain moments. Spirit just wants me to tell you that this person is very selfish. And I just heard there might be a single child. Yeah, I just heard that they could be a single child. And many single children, not all, but if their parents don't teach them right, they could be selfish. So, even if this person is not a single child, they just have that mindset of someone who didn't share when they were a child. So as an adult, they still have that same concept in mind just because that's what they know. So that's something that they would have to unlearn on their own, and they would need a probable cause to want to change, because the stage that they're in is like very selfish. It just feels very selfish. This person is extremely selfish, is what I'm picking up on. The more you gave, the more they wanted. Not showing much appreciation, but I heard maybe a little bit of giddy, like giddiness. And you may have took that for appreciation. Giddy. You saw a sense of excitement. It's like, it's almost like Spirit is saying what you thought was them showing appreciation was them, I heard, triumphing over the fact that they got what they want. Like they got you to do what they wanted you to do. So you felt you're so pure that you were thinking, you're not even someone who, when you give, it's like, I'm giving because I want to. You asked, I have it here, and I'm not going to throw it in your face later. Now I'm getting there. Some people that just prey on people like you. So this is why it's important for you to really pay attention to the signs within your body when your body tells you that something is wrong with someone. We have that eternal internal compass that will detect flaws within people's character. But if we're blinded by our desires, if we're blinded by our carnal nature, which is very difficult to ignore because that feeling is powerful. That feeling is very creative. Anything that has the power to create, you recognize how powerful it is. So, my nose is itching. Anything that gives intense feeling on the higher side of the spectrum can cause one to be blinded for a moment until they choose to see. But you have to be, it's like you have to be in this mental space of clarity and discipline. It's just hard. It's not just hard for you. It's hard for everyone. People could make it look easy sometimes, but that's not easy. When you're really attracted to someone, like, you can't turn that off. But it's about knowing how to control it and knowing how to check yourself if you feel that you're going a bit overboard, or if you lose your mind real quick. Because when we get too excited, we can lose our mind. And it doesn't have to be like a long-term loss of the mind, but it could be short-term. It could be just for a moment. Just for a moment. And that moment, and within that moment, your state of mind could show and be very telling. But only to those who can see. Everyone is not a seer. So some people it'll go right over their heads, right? But it's okay to feel. We're supposed to feel, yes. But we just have to, I wanted to say monitor our feelings, which I feel is true as well, but it's more so maintain them and keep composure as much as you can. I just heard you never know who's looking. Be aware and mindful, because You have influence. And people look up to you. Okay? So the best thing you can do is take care of yourself, because if people look up to you, then they're going to want to take care of themselves too. It's like, you know, that's a beautiful, energetic, reciprocal relationship. Because you don't have to necessarily know someone personally for them to be influenced by you in such a way. And I find that to be very beautiful. Because when people trust you, they follow you. Because they might feel like they don't have anyone that they can look up to. So seeing someone like you can change your entire life just by being in your presence, no matter if it's online or in person. When you started to notice this person and their ways, you were turned off because you know that you know better. And there was like this ultimate moment where it was like, okay, wow. So this is what I've been dealing with this whole time. And for some of you, it was an extended time, like some years, maybe a few. Maybe a couple, but I first thought a few. But to deal with someone for an extended period of time and have a certain level of respect for them, and then you see something that you know you saw before, but then it's solidified through like an example, or something was confirmed. And once something is confirmed in such a way, you can't ignore that anymore, because it's right there. There's nothing more to look at. It's in your face for you to see. So then at that point, if you continue on with that type of situation, then you know that that's your fault. Like, you know, you have to take accountability for that if that's something that you're not interested in and you don't really want it. If you don't really want it, no toca. Don't touch. Don't touch it. Because then you're going to get in trouble. Don't touch it. You're going to get burned. It just made me think about like putting my hand over the fire, because I feel the heat and it's hot, right? From the candle, I feel the heat. When those red flags start waving, that's that heat. It's trying to warn you. That heat is warning you. But what do so many of us do? We keep going into the fire. We keep walking into it. Because we choose to put the blindfold on and act like we did not see everything that we saw. And it's like, it's hot, but I think it's okay because I didn't get burned yet. I don't see any signs that there's a problem, because it's not really a problem yet. So let me just keep walking, and then hopefully nothing happens. And the more you walk, the more uncomfortable you begin to feel, because it's like, first it's the red flags, and then it's like a siren that goes off inside of you. And then once there's an explosion and the tragedy actually takes place in that relationship or under those circumstances, it's like your whole mind shifts into reality, and you have a moment where you get mad at yourself. You're like, why did I do that? You know? But the best thing you could do is hold on to what you've learned. Don't ignore it, and forgive yourself. You're not forgiving yourself for anyone but you, because when you get frustrated with yourself, it's hard for you to forgive yourself, and you keep on beating yourself up about the same thing over and over again. You don't have to beat yourself up for loving someone and wanting to love someone. That's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing to want to be a lover. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that there are times when we give love to individuals that don't appreciate it and don't even know love. So how could we expect someone to give what they don't really know? And some people have like a detached personality in a way, to where how can I say this? They don't allow themselves to care, I guess. Sometimes that could be good when you're doing it from a healthy place. But this person, their concepts hold no weight of how they view many aspects of life. Their concepts are like flawed, like there's holes in it. And you notice that, but it's almost like you just wanted to give it a pass because you're like, I know no one is like perfect, so I'm just going to let them be them. But you saw it, because I feel like many of you have that intellectual capability to see when someone is going in a direction that could really show them a lot of lessons. Let me just put it like that. You just know that they lack experience. And I feel like they lack experience in many different areas of their life. I heard of their life and yours. How in their life and yours they lack experience. I feel as though Spirit is saying that they lacked experience. They lacked experience in their own life and in yours. I feel like Spirit is saying that because when they could have grown closer to you, it's almost like they stopped it every time. They stopped it. And there's something about a certain persona that they want to uphold, so they don't want to be too close or something. I don't know what that is. They don't want to be too close. They just want the image. They don't want to be too close. What that mean? I mean, I guess it means what it is. They just don't want to be too close. They don't want to let you in too much. Some type of mystery here to where you couldn't completely connect. You see, yeah, that's what I'm getting. You were looking for someone that you could truly connect to and confide in. This person does not have that, and they may not ever have that, because they're the most important aspect of their life is the outside, and they haven't even taken time to really look at the inside. What they do know comes from a place of, it's like, if I desire that, then I have to do this. If I desire, then. If then. It's like an if then statement. If I desire this, then I have to do that. But it's used in a vain way. It's not used in a way from the heart, from the soul. It's used in a way of manipulation. And that's what I'm getting from this person. So they just have a tendency to do this. You're not the first one they've done it to. I'm also getting like this is someone who would do this off the strength of their appearance. So they know what they look like. And many people do this. They use their beauty or their charm or their attractiveness to siphon from people. So this is really a vampiric energy, but they mask themselves in a false angelic light. They mask themselves. So you don't see they're ugly. I heard it until it's too late, when you're already in too deep. The only way that you see it sooner is if you actually use that mind's eye of yours and pay attention to it. Because, like I said, you'll see it, or you did see it and you ignored it for as long as you could ignore it. Because even when you ignored it, you still knew it was there. It's not like it actually left, because it never did. However, it made you feel good for a moment because it made you, I heard elusify yourself. Elusify? Is that even a word? Elusify yourself. Hold on now. Hold on. Elusify. Illusory. Based on illusion, not real. Is elusify a word? It feels like one, based on or producing illusion. Yeah, it is a word. It felt like a word, but I wasn't sure because I don't really say that. But Spirit said it. Deceiving yourself. Based on or producing illusion. Now I'm hearing demystify. Demystify. Let me look up that just to me, it just is like demystify. You know when things are misty, it's a little more difficult to see clearly. So if it's demystified, D means to take away from, subtract. So it's like the clearing of allowing yourself to see what you saw in the first place. Yeah. Make clearer and easier to understand. So a certain circumstance allowed you to demystify the elusification that you placed over in your own mind's eye. This had to happen for you to reroute, because if it didn't happen, then you would have done it again and again and again. And each time it would have been worse. And for someone like you, you can't expose yourself to such energy because it could destroy you. And I feel like you know that. That's why you're now so much more careful. Something like that can destroy everything you've built. I think people sometimes they forget how the person you choose to spend the rest of your life with can either love you and make you better, or destroy you and end you. Like, seriously, it's either one or the other. And now that you know, you're going to make the right decision for yourself just because you know better now. You don't have time for such energy, and it's aggravating. Someone could be the most attractive person around, okay? Someone who is highly, I almost said highly required, but not that. Highly sought after. But if you meet them and their energy is sour, it's a complete turn off. Complete turn off. And why put yourself through that just for surface level gratification? As someone who is in that angelic energy, someone such as yourself, you're supposed to connect with another angel. You know, you're supposed to connect with someone who's like you. Not exactly like you, of course, but you have to be on this like eye-to-eye understanding to where you both can understand each other. You know how frustrating it is to be in a relationship with someone, which I know many of you do know, being in a full-blown relationship with someone that doesn't even understand you. Talk about a waste of space and time. No, honey. No. So I feel like this message is to present a case to yourself in spiritual court so that you release yourself from this mental prison. I just heard. Some of you are really affected by how someone treated you, and it's really messing with your head. Allow yourself to be free. Don't lock yourself up. I just heard sometimes the worst prison could be the mental prison, because sometimes you don't even know that you're in a mental prison. You just feel like you're going crazy, or you feel like alone. You could also feel like you don't have anybody to talk to about it. Or maybe you do, but it's something about them not able to tell you something that you would appreciate hearing, and you might not even know what that is. I feel like it's like, forgive yourself and trust yourself. When you see something that you don't agree with, trust it. Don't negate it and act like it doesn't mean anything to you when you know it does. And align yourself with someone who you know will love you, and who you know that, or who you recognize you can love from the fruit that they bear, from the conversations that you have. If you notice that you can't have a conversation with a person, that's an immediate no. And if everyone could just be quicker with just that evaluation alone, it could save many lives. Just that concept by itself. Okay, so just know that you have the rest of your life to live. Your life is beautiful, and it always has been. There's just some bumps in the road, little bump. But that's okay. That's okay. Just slow down over the bump. Okay? So it's not too much hydraulics going on. And cruise. Cruise. Let bygones be bygones. Because he gone or she gone. Let him be gone. And that's it. I really heard it. That's all, folks. Anyway, I am Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. Always remember the creator is in you, and the magic is too, because you are magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.